Anita was a woman of unparalleled beauty, the kind that seemed to defy the laws of nature. Her curves were the envy of every woman and the desire of every man. She walked with an air of mystery, her magnetic presence leaving whispers of intrigue wherever she passed. But beneath her striking appearance lay a chilling story that only a select few dared to uncover. Anita was born in a quiet village on the edge of the mystical Zoravi River, a place shrouded in tales of the supernatural. When Anita was about 6 months of age, her father, a mechanic in the small village, went for a road test in a car he had been working on. Unfortunately, the car lost control due to brake failure and bumped onto a tree. That's how he lost his life. Anita's mother, Ekwa, raised her with love, but could never shield her from the harshness of poverty, as she was just a housewife at the time of her husband's demise. She would carry Anita as she worked on people's lands. In rain or sunshine she worked, doing her best to make ends meet. The Zoravi River, said to be home to the enigmatic river goddess Nyanza, was both a blessing and a curse. Villagers spoke of Nyanza's ability to grant unimaginable beauty and wealth, but only in exchange for a soul-binding pact. Many scary tales of people that had sought for Nyanza's help were whispered from time to time among the villagers. Nyanza was said to be unforgiving and brutal to anyone who dared to breach on their agreement. Anita grew in a modest home amidst her poor neighborhood. The village was so poor and backward that seeing a car or even a mobile phone was such a big deal. Barak, one of the village elders' sons, lived in the big city. He and 2 more people were the only ones that owned a car. They would come to the village only once or twice a year, mostly during Easter holiday and/or Christmas time. Whenever any car drove around the village, children would run to have a glimpse of it, shouting, "Gari, gari, gari, gari," meaning car, 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 car. Men and women too would stare in awe. Anita would watch and admire the people from the city. Each Christmas, she would promise herself that she must make it no matter the cost. At 12, she was already accustomed to running errands for her mother. She would often be the one selling at their small kiosk in the village, while her mother worked on people's rice farms. Anita hated her life, a life filled with so much struggle. Even eating 3 square meals a day was like a dream. Anita would often murmur to herself that soon she would do her best to make a more meaningful life for herself. On the eve of her 18th birthday, Anita's desperation to escape her destitution led her to the mystical Zoravi River. She stood at the water's edge under the light of a full moon, her reflection shimmering in the glowing blue waters. She reflected about her miserable life. She wondered why God created her and took her father just when they needed him the most, leaving her and her poor mom to suffer in misery, their fate unknown. Tears dripped as she fantasized how life would have probably been had her father not died. Probably one of comfort and plenty, she thought. She reminisced on how she'd often be ignored among her peers. The young men often acted like she was invisible, many a times making her feel like she was not appealing. The young maidens would mock her for her dry hips, saying that the many years of being her mother's donkey had made her hipless. No nyash and no money. Who would want this one, they would say and laugh. With so much going through her mind, Anita's fear disappeared and she made a decision to ask for the river goddess help. Not mindful of the consequences, "Nyanza, goddess of the river, I seek your favor," Anita whispered, her voice trembling. She called again and again until something began to happen. The waters rippled, sending big waves that hit her legs. Fear gripped her very existence. But her desire to overcome her misery overshadowed her fear. Within a short while, the Zoravi River goddess appeared. Her form was both mesmerizing and terrifying, with eyes that seemed to see into Anita's very soul. Her hair looked like snakes, and her neck and arms endowed with gold, pearls, and cowrie ornaments. Her skin was a green and gold scale that glow in the night. "You desire beauty, money, and power," Nyanza said, her voice echoing. "But beauty is a weapon while money and power demand sacrifice." Anita's heart pounded. "I'll do whatever it takes," I can't take the mockery, the poverty, and the belittling anymore. Please help me." Nyanza smiled, her teeth a chilling sight. "I'll give you what you desire. You will be more beautiful than your peers. Your beauty will help you rise in wealth and power, but you must pay a price." She said, "You must be warned. Every soul you enchant will feed me. Fail to deliver, and you shall pay the price." The goddess stretched her hand and touched Anita's forehead. Immediately a surge of energy coursed through her. Her body transformed. Her features became flawless, her figure otherworldly. But as she turned to leave, Nyanza's voice echoed, "Remember, child, beauty is not without consequence, while money and power demands sacrifice." These words caused a chill down Anita's spine. But when she looked at her transformation, she nodded, saying, "Whatever the cost, it's all worth it." The following morning, as Ekwa, Anita's mother, prepared to go to work, she noticed the changes in Anita's body. "Anita, what have you done?" she exclaimed. "Did you go to the mystical river?" she asked, with a mixture of shock and fear. "Mama, I'm sorry, but I was left with no choice." "Are you not tired of the suffering?" answered Anita. "My child, I've always told you to be patient. God will one day give us a better life. I taught you how to pray. Why couldn't you be patient?" "Ekwa," Anita's mother cried out. "Anita, we have to go and beg the river goddess. We'll let her know that you made a mistake and acted childishly. Just pray that this can be reversed, because if not, we'll leave at midnight so the villagers will not notice," said Ekwa. "Just stay indoors today. Ensure nobody sees you. Not even your shadow should be seen outside today." Anita tried to argue, but her mother's mind was made up. However, Ekwa's warning fell on deaf ears. Unmindful of her mother's feelings, Anita parked and ran away to the city, her mind full of imaginations of how amazing life would get as soon as she began to get money. But there was a problem. She knew no one in the city, and the worst part was she had no penny remaining with her after paying for her bus fare. This situation was worrisome, but Anita was determined to make it. Anita's transformation catapulted her into a life of luxury and admiration. Her arrival in the big city was a milestone for her, a dream come true. She had always imagined how beautiful the city was, but her imagination was not even close to how beautiful it actually was. The people were clean and well-dressed, clean tarmacked roads with flashy cars that she had never seen before. So many skyscrapers with glass and beautiful designs. As she walked aimlessly with nowhere to go, Felix, a wealthy businessman, was driving home and noticed her. Her beauty captivating, with hips that swung rhythmically as she walked. Without wasting time, he stopped his car and greeted Anita with a fluttering yet silly smile. "Hello, beautiful. What could a beatie like you be doing in this neighborhood? I can give you a lift to wherever you're headed," said Felix. Anita looked at him and smiled. "Good evening, sir. I'm new here. I don't know if you can help me," said Anita. "Anything for you, princess," said Felix. "Just hop into the car. Let's talk over a cup of coffee," answered Felix with a cheeky smile. Anita got into his car, and that was the beginning of their relationship. Felix showered Anita with diamonds, designer clothes, vacations to exotic locations, and expensive dinner dates in exotic restaurants. Anita's charm was intoxicating, but there was an underlying emptiness in their connection. One night, after an extravagant gala, Felix was found dead in his mansion. He had drowned in his bathtub. The tragedy left whispers, but no one connected Anita to the event. Even Anita was unaware of the fact that she was the cause of his death. It didn't take long before she met her next victim, Caleb, a rising politician. Caleb was captivated by Anita's allure and spared no expense to win her heart. He flew her to private islands where they danced under the stars. Their nights were filled with passion, their days with luxury. But Caleb's friends warned him about Anita, sensing something unsettling about her. "There's something too perfect about her," his friend Obina said. Caleb brushed off their concerns, but one evening he was found dead in his office, his face frozen in terror. Again, Anita walked away unscathed, But the guilt began to gnaw at her. She was truly in love with Caleb, and his demise was so painful. Depressed and concerned, she went back to the river goddess to seek answered and a solution to the misfortunes that had befallen every man she got close to. Nyanza, the river goddess, warned her again that the covenant between them could not be broken and her conditions still stood. Left without a choice, Anita swallowed the bitter pill brought about by her greed. Her life became a cycle of opulence and tragedy. Each man she ensnared brought her temporary joy and material wealth, but met an untimely demise. She revisited the Zoravi River often, pleading with Nyanza to release her from the pact. But the answer was always the same. "You cannot escape what you asked for," the goddess would say, her voice cold. "Your beauty is my creation, and my hunger must be fed." One day, Anita met Cain, a struggling artist. Unlike the others, Cain was drawn to Anita's sadness rather than her beauty. He painted her, capturing the vulnerability she tried to hide. Anita found herself falling for him, but she was terrified of the curse. She was tired of seeing innocent souls being taken because of her stupidity. Cain introduced Anita to his family, a modest but loving group who welcomed her with open arms. For the first time, Anita felt at home. They spent evenings strolling through the city, sharing meals at roadside stalls and dreaming of a future together. But Nyanza's whispers haunted her dreams. "Deliver his soul, or face the curse," the goddess warned. Anita confessed everything to Cain. He listened, his eyes filled with both fear and determination. "We'll confront her together," he said. On the night of a blood moon, they returned to the Zoravi River. Armed with ancient incantations Cain had uncovered, they summoned Nyanza. The goddess emerged, her fury palpable. "You dare defy me?" she roared. Cain recited the incantation, the river churning violently as its power began to weaken Nyanza's hold. The goddess turned to Anita, her voice dripping with malice. "You may break the bond, but you will lose everything: your beauty, your power, your life of luxury. Is he worth it?" Anita hesitated, the weight of her choices pressing down on her. But as she looked into Cain's eyes, she found her answer. "Yes," she whispered. The goddess let out a deafening scream, and the river swallowed her. Anita collapsed, her body writhing as her beauty faded. Her once glowing skin dulled, her curves vanished. She was left with her true self, plain and unremarkable. Cain took Anita to her mother Equa to ask for forgiveness, and also for her blessings as he was ready to settle down. Equa was overjoyed to see her long-lost daughter still alive and back to her former self. They hugged and cried in each other's arms for a minute, their mouths shut, but their hearts speaking volumes. That night, Anita narrated her whole ordeal, regretting and apologizing for her mistakes. Equa blessed them and wished them well as they left for the city. Anita and Cain got married, began a modest life together, free from the shadows of the past. Though she no longer turned heads, Anita found peace in her newfound freedom. Within a year, she had given birth to a beautiful baby girl. The motherhood hormones, together with the peace Cain gave her, brought her feminine curves out. She now felt fulfilled and thanked God for everything. She devoted herself to helping others, warning young women of the dangers of vanity and the price of unchecked ambition. But the Zoravi River remained. Those who ventured too close spoke of whispers in the water and the faint glow of a woman's figure beneath the surface, waiting for the next soul desperate enough to make a pact. Anita's story is a reminder that true beauty lies in the soul, not in appearances. Power and wealth gained through dark means come at a cost, and the pursuit of superficial desires can lead to unimaginable regret. Treasure authenticity and love, for they are the true sources of happiness. I hope you enjoyed my story. See you on the next one. Also, don't forget to share and subscribe. Thank you.